Hey guys, Algebra 2 with Mrs. Gareth. We are working on parabolas this week. Parabolas is something we've been working on all year long. Remember all that factoring? That's all parabolas. So something like x squared plus 2x plus 1. That should make you realize that it's a parabola. It is an x squared. Now, I could hear your collective groan about factoring. Promise you no factoring. No worries. I'm even recording it early and I still know you were groaning about factoring. So what does a parabola look like? Remember the equation ax squared plus bx plus c. Where this is, my x squared, sorry. Where this is a parabola, this is the equation of the parabola. Now, we can write the equation of a parabola given the focus and the directrix, and I'll give you those definitions in a minute. What we're doing for this week is we are only focusing on parabolas that have the vertex, the point, where it changes direction at 0, 0, which means we are not dealing with anything but ax squared. So we're only dealing with y equals ax squared. That's super helpful. The other one that we are going to deal with is x is equal to ay squared. Now, when we're talking about these two, we are going to be building our equations off of them. And I'm happy to, because you know I love math, I can derive these formulas for you. And if you'd like that, please contact me and I would totally love to do that. But I assume most of you have zero interest in how they're derived and just want the formula. So let's start on the notes. It says that a parabola is a set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a fixed line and a fixed point not on the line. Now, what does that look like? It looks like a focus that is not on the line. This is our fixed point. So the fixed point is the focus. Now, something you need to know about the focus. When we're dealing with parabolas, the focus is going to be inside the parabola. So if it's positive, because we're dealing with vertex at 0, 0, if the focus is positive, then our parabola is going to be positive. It's going to be shaped up. If the focus is negative, if it was down here, our parabola would be negative. We'll be dealing with that in a little bit, but I wanted to be able to show you this. The directrix is the line that is equidistant from, it's the same distance from the vertex as the focus. So the directrix is this line, and it's the fixed line. So let's say our focus was 2 units up, then our directrix would be 2 units down. So this is what we're working on today. We're working on what a parabola looks like and how to come up with the equation for the parabola. Let's look at example 1. Example 1 says, write an equation for a graph that is a set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from the point of 0, 3. So 0, 3 is right here, and the line negative 3. So what that means is this line is our directrix. And this point is our focus. So which way is our parabola going to be facing? Is it going to be facing down, or is it going to be facing up? Well, we know that the focus is inside the parabola. So it's going to be facing up. So now we need to find values. Our C value is the focus. So our C value is at a positive 3 because that's what it's given to us. It says that the focus is at 0, 3, which that is our C value. And we've also got the equation that the absolute value of A, oops, I'm sorry, yeah, is equal to 1 over 4c. This is the equation I'm happy to derive for you. But if you don't want it derived, this is the equation. A being the A in our equation for a parabola. So, what is our A for this parabola? Well, we know that it is 1 over 4. What is our C value? It is 3. So it is equal to 1 over 12. And it's the absolute value. Now, for the purposes of this week, the value of our A, if it is positive, it's going to be up. And if it's negative, it's going to be down. But if we were able to move these, then that wouldn't always be the case. So we're going to say that it's the absolute value. And then we're going to look and see that this is a positive x squared. So that means that my y is equal to 1 over 12 x squared, because my parabola that we drew, knowing where the focus was, is a positive x squared. So that is number 1. Remember that this is our A that is already part of our parabola equation. All right, so let's do example 2. Now, it says, write the equation of a graph that is the set of all points on a plane that are equidistant from the focus, where my focus is at 2, 0. Now notice that the focus is on my x-axis. So if the focus is going to be on my x-axis, then that means that I'm going to use the equation x equals a y squared, because it's on my x-axis. And it tells me that my directrix is at -2. So my focus and my directrix. Remember that the focus is always inside our parabola. And because it starts at the vertex, it's going to look like this. So I've drawn what it looks like and know that it looks like this. Now, one of the things I need to know is it going to be positive or negative? Well, is this the positive x or negative x? This is positive, this is negative. So since my entire parabola is encompassing the positive x-axis, it's going to be positive. That's something we need to know. So we know that our equation is x is equal to a y squared. And we know that it's going to be positive. We also know that the absolute value of A is equal to 1 over 4c. Now C is the number in my focus, 2. So I'm just going to substitute that in. 1 over 4 times 2, and that is equal to 1 over 8. So my equation here is going to be x equals 1 over 8 y squared. I know that it's the x equals ay squared because it gave me an x value in my focus. And I know that it's positive because it's encompassing the positive x value because we drew it, so we know that. And again, if you'd like me to derive this for you, I'd love to. But we know that the equation is 4 times c. So that's our a value. Remember, a is the number in front of our y squared, so it's 1 over 8. Now the last thing we have to go over is how do we know if a parabola is going to be a positive or a negative? Because remember, our a value is the absolute value. So how do I know if it's going to be a positive or a negative parabola? Well, if my focus is going to be on the positive x-axis, then it's going to be a positive value. If my focus is on the positive y-axis, it's a positive value. However, if my focus is on the negative x or the negative y-axis, then it's going to be a negative value. So, depending on where my focus is if my focus is at a positive point, then I'm going to have a positive parabola. If it's on a negative point, it's going to be a negative parabola. That's on the bottom here, and that's going to be in your homework that's due on Wednesday. So, you have your notes. I've given you filled out notes on Schoology. I've given you homework to work on. I've given you contact information. So if you need to contact me, I have email, I have text, I have phone, I have all sorts of ways for you to get a hold of me. So do your work, let me know what questions you have, and then you have another video to watch on Wednesday, and we can get together anytime to talk about any questions you have. So I miss you. I know you're going to do amazing.